So, I have been asked a couple times today about a certain tattoo that I have. Um, and so I just wanted to kind of come on here and give you a little story time because not many people talk about this sort of thing. And for those who have also experienced this thing or feel like they're alone or anything like that, especially young people, I just kind of want to put everything into perspective. So today, not only am I asked about it, someone knew what it was and was like, oh, things like that. So this is my tattoo. These tattoos, mine has a music note on it because I'm into music, things like that. It's a really big part of my life. But if you have ever heard of the semicolon saying, it has to do with suicide awareness. And most people who get this on here either know someone that has struggled with it themselves, different things like that. And so mine is myself. Obviously, I know many people all around. It kind of goes to everything, but generally, this is for me. When I was in middle school, really the biggest thing that saved my life, music. I mean, here it is. It kind of shows you, but when I was in middle school, I was bullied from 4th grade to 9th grade every year, the whole time. Pretty heavily to the point when I was in the 7th or 8th grade, I formulated an entire plan as to how I was going to end my life. I made an entire note that was to go out to each person that I cared about in my life. Different things that I wanted to pass to people who I loved in my life. I put it all into perspective with what I was going to do and fully planned on doing it. What did it for me was my sister. I have multiple sisters, but I was planning to leave something behind for my sister. And it just, something kind of hit me that was like, how would she be able to go on in life? Her and some other family, like how would this change their life? Like, yeah, I'm going through a lot of stuff. I feel like that's never going to end. It's not getting any better. I've dealt with it for years, and it's just gotten worse and everything. And I'm not seeing the bigger picture. I'm not seeing the bright side of anything. I'm not seeing the other side of the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm just kind of in this situation. And, I just thought about like when my sister gets this and something has happened to me, what that would do to her. And ultimately, I don't think I've ever even told her that. She's the reason why I never went along with it. That I kind of stepped back and, dealt with things myself. I experienced cyberbullying. I experienced regular bullying. No one beat up on me or anything like that, but the psychological warfare was probably the worst. And the craziest thing is it was a group of boys more than it was any girls. I had the worst experience with being bullied by a group of boys, to the point where I was getting harassed. They were pretending to be other people when they would message me. I would get random calls and messages all the time, getting pranked, getting told everything under the sun. I was called, I had a very boy-like body growing up until I hit high school, and I was told that I, was really supposed to be a boy, and I was a grape baby. You could name it, I was probably called it. And the saddest part about the whole situation is that the only reason why it was happening was because of one kid. I had mentioned to somebody that I had a crush biggest mistake in middle school of one of our friends, and that person wasn't trustworthy. It went to another friend who went to another friend, and it got back to not the boy, but the boy's best friend. And apparently the boy's best friend had a thing for me, and he made it his mission to make sure that would never happen. And his best way was to tear me completely down, where I felt like I was gonna end my life, and to make that boy feel so embarrassed that even if he did have the same type of feelings, he would never act upon them, because he would be made fun of because of how much I was made fun of. And some people that had known me and have been around me may know this. They may know some of it, they may not know the full extent of it, but they do generally understand, remembering some of those things that had happened. I wasn't someone who wasn't known and was just kind of to a shadow in school. The craziest thing is I was actually kind of popular. I knew everybody, I was friends with everybody, I made friends very easily. I played all sports, I had lots of friends. I was liked by a lot of people, my grade, older grades, younger grades. Like I was a very liked person, but I was still bullied. I was still treated poorly, to the fact that I thought that nothing else was going to come from this, and I did not deserve to live this life that I lived. And for those of y'all who are either in it, have been through it, or any of those things, my biggest message to that, and being a survivor for it, is you never know what your life's going to turn out to be, and don't let anyone else determine who you are and what your life's going to be. Had I done that day, I have 2 of my own children. I'm an advocate for my bonus daughter, literally. I'm the one currently fighting for what she wants. With the abuse that she's been experiencing. I also turned around and had taken in my twin nephews and my niece about 6 years ago, back in 2019, because they also needed somewhere to be. So we took them in and things like that. So we have a household that was of need, and things like that. Had I not been here for that, where would they have gotten what they have needed in this life, and things like that. So just remember that there's always a reason for things, and that you're valued, you're irreplaceable, and you're loved. So